beautiful. What a noise. Guys, we are back for another retro vintage Can I Beat the Pole Lap episode. And this one is the Italian Grand Prix from 2004. I'm very excited because we get to drive my all-time favorite F1 car, but we are racing, or we are driving as Rubens Barrichello today as we look to take on the pole lap from the 2004 Italian Grand Prix. A 1 minute 20.089. Absolute insane qualifying lap from Rubens, and yeah, it was bonkers. Fun fact, Montoya actually went quicker in the first part of qualifying, of course, where they ran the empty fuel tanks and did, I think, a 1:19.5, so we might aim for that as a secondary time. But for this one, we're trying to beat Rubens on his race fuel. Now, there is one small issue. It was a damp race. Therefore, Rubens actually started on intermediates and he boxed early for dry. So we don't really know his true fuel load. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take Michael Schumacher's pit stop lap, which was lap 15 of the race, as kind of a benchmark for the fuel that Rubens may have had in the car for the race. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get to it. I've got everything spot on here. Car, track, everything is skinned up 2004 spec as we get our first lap underway. Already bouncing off the limiter, so we're going to have to fix the gearbox straight away. Braking at 150, no idea where to stop the car, so first lap, getting a feeling for the conditions. This is going to be a very low-key first lap. I'll let you enjoy a bit of engine note for the time being. There's actually a decent bit of downforce, to be fair, so that's not a good thing for Monza. You want to trim that down, so we will certainly be getting the wing down at the first set of adjustments. Rear left absolutely cooking as we head into Ascari. Of course, traction control as well on this car as we run wide, not able to take it flat. Interestingly, out of the exit of Ascari there. Down to Parabolica, the final corner of the lap. Bouncing off the limiter again. Fourth gear, up to fifth, and now up to the line we go. Let's see what our opening lap is. 1 minute 26.9. 7 seconds off pretty much, mate. That's unreal. Now, as we look into the eyes of Rubens, we are going to make some adjustments. We're going to put that gearbox up quite a bit. We'll go for 330. 355 seems quite a jump, so we'll go for 330. Tyres, I'll stick with the mediums for now because we was overheating on the rear. We'll probably drop the softs. We still don't have fuel data, so I don't know what 15 laps of fuel is, so I'm going to keep the fuel the same. Traction also. What I am going to do though is start to adjust the wing. Now, the front will be on 12, the rear will be on 12 as well. We'll try that and see how that feels and try to get a bit of a baseline for that. I will actually put that front camber up a little bit as well, just to try and get a bit more front turning. Diff coast down to 20 as well for rotation, bias on 54. And then ride height, fairly flat track. We'll go straight down to 2 on the front, and we'll go to 10 on the rear. Is that a bit too much? We'll try 10 on the rear and see how that goes. And then I'll put the rear roll bar on 1, front on 4, and give this a go. Right, the mini sectors are pretty self-explanatory. You can see how we were getting quicker at the end of the straights. So let's see how these adjustments translate as we get the lap underway. Look at the time gain though on the Delta already. 330 off the limiter again, pretty much. Breaking up the 100 this time, very late. Using second gear. Letting the traction control work for us on the exit. Good first sector. We're going to find probably at 1.5 seconds as we now prepare the next chicane. A bit of a lock up on the way in. A little bit all over the shop, but we kept it under control. Now into the Lesmos. This is where I think we're going to notice that lack of wing quite a bit. First one not too bad. Second Lesmo. Had to just delay it a little bit, but we're still doing okay here. We'll be 2 seconds up, so we have gained half a second in the middle sector, which is where the downforce is. Ascari sending it in 4th gear into there, trying to stay tight through the right to open the left. We do a better job of staying on track, and now we're going to gain 3 lap time down to Parabolica. Right, 1 corner to go. 4th gear, just tip it in, get the power down. Lost a little bit on the exit, we'll gain a little bit back up to the line, and it's going to be a decent improvement to a 1:24.2, but we are still a country mile away, so I think it's now time for some soft tyres. Right, in principle, I'm quite happy with those gears. I might review them in a bit, but for now we're going to stick with that baseline. And what we're going to do here is work on these pressures a little bit. So we're going to put the rears up, especially the left rear. We'll go 12 on the right rear. We'll leave the fronts as is. Actually, I'll put a little click on the left front. Now, wow, look at that. Exactly 15 laps. We're already on the fuel. So we can't take any out unless we lower the wings. Now, apparently 1 means more traction, so 10 means less. I'm going to open it up a little bit to 5 and see if that works. Wing, I feel like we could probably take a bit off again. I'm going to go 10 front, 8 rear, so we're now running an offset towards the front. I'm going to put that front camber up some more, and I will put a touch of rear camber on, a little touch more on the right rear. I'll keep the toe default for now. Happy with most of the other adjustments, to be honest. All I want to adjust really here is the wheel rate. I want to put that down on the rear a little bit and just up it on the front. It's a bit low for my liking. Right, attempt number 3. You can see the mini sectors again, showing that we have improved top speed. I think we're going to hit the limiter here, which probably means we're going to have to extend the gearbox, but let's see how the lap time improves. This is more about the soft tyres than our top speed. I want to see how the softs hold on. Onto 2nd gear, tip it into turn 1. A little bit deep. That's going to just hurt our exit a little bit. Through Curva Grande as we now head towards the next chicane. I know there's Roggia, I know there's Retafiglio. I always get them mixed up though. I'm going to take a short shift to 3rd and see how that feels. Not too bad. First Lesmo. Use those soft tyres. You can see the temperatures are scorching hot. 2nd Lesmo. Bit of understeer there. Just couldn't hang on to the tyres. Obviously no track limits back in 04. That wasn't a thing. So we will apply those exact same rules. Into Ascari. We're going to need that right front to hold on. Trying to focus on the exit here. 1/4 second up. Let's try and make it a second come the start finish line. 1 corner to go. Try and get a bit tighter here and try and take a lower line. And there we go. That's going to be just about a second quicker. 1:23.2, but still a good 3 seconds off. So at the minute, I feel like we don't have much time to find, not 3 seconds anyway. So now interestingly, I've actually found an old setup on my computer from years ago, maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and I've loaded it on. Now this one does have the 355 top speed on the gearbox. It has interestingly default tires, so I think it must do something else. Now I've left the fuel the same, obviously, for fuel reasons. The traction's also the same, but the wings are a bit lower, 6 and 5, which seems doable. I'm guessing it makes up for elsewhere. To be fair, the alignment's not massively different. Wow, the ride heights are really high. To be fair, I was going to try and up them anyway because it just felt really bumpy, and like through turn 3, Curva Grande, I was like bumping on the ground, it feels like, and I'm not hitting my top speed. Other things seem to have reset, like the wheel rate and the ARB, the anti-roll bar. So I'll give this a crack and see what it's like. Right, let's see if we find any time. That's a ton of understeer already, but the top speed is insane. We are going to hit a really high top speed now. So that 355 is going to get matched. There it is. Braking at the 100 still, just about. Direction change through the hairpin, or through the chicane should I say, not too bad. That's a horrible bump though, just on the exit. Right through here, the car's gliding a lot nicer. You can see the time gain, the car's not dragging on the ground. Into the chicane, a little bit deep through the first part. Exit's going to suffer as a result. Holy understeer though. That wing is hurting us through the Lesmos, and my tyres are just melting at the minute. So yeah, this setup is a bit outdated it seems. Like I said, I found it on my computer, but it's maybe not super accurate with all the changes to a set of course over the years. Wow, the back end is kicking out, and that was actually not going that well in the end. Kind of reset my tyre pressures to what I was working with before. I've also readjusted the roll bar for more turning. I want to see if I can try and modernize this setup a little bit and bring it back to life. So let's see if this works and the adjustments I've made hopefully pay off. Here we go. First chicane. Still getting a bit of understeer there and struggling. Going to try and go around that bump. We know there's time in this sector, but can we find time elsewhere? Right, here we go. Gentle on the brakes. Into the chicane. A little bit wide, but that'll do. Tyre's starting to get hot through Lesmo 1. Losing that time, but not as badly as before. Lesmo 2. A bit more inside curb, and actually we do get a decent exit, so finding a little bit of time here. Let's try and build on this. Into Ascari we go. Just throwing the car in. Hope that it sticks. That was pretty nice. That was our cleanest Ascari so far. We should gain time all the way down to Parabolica here. One corner to go. Oh, understeer though. Tyres are hot and giving up on me. Up to the line we go. We are going to improve. Still going to be just a low 23, but not the time game that I hoped for. And I think that 120 dead is looking a bit difficult to beat. Oh, big lock up though. Okay, let me try something real quick. Now, the only other thing I can think of is that Rubens didn't have 15 laps of fuel in his car. Hence the pole lap, and that's why Michael didn't get pole. Michael went 15 laps deep into the race, but that might be a factor. We'll try 12 and then go down to 10. I just want to see what sort of difference fuel load makes, because maybe that's the thing that's been in front of our face the whole time and I've not actually addressed it. Right, into the first chicane, bumping the first curb, not ideal. Using first gear there, working a lot better. I've just readjusted a few individual gears. I want to be able to use first through there, so I've made first a bit longer. Keeping it second through here. Good exit. A little bit of a cut there on the engine with the traction control. But this looks very good at the minute. Super wide at Lesmo 1, but we're keeping the time gain. Lesmo 2 was committed. Looks like we might have found something here. The fuel load playing a massive role. Into Ascari. Sending it in. Oh, we completely understeer out though and invalidate, but I learnt a lot on that. And it seems it may be chalk and cheese, as in night and day difference. A little bit of fuel, a couple of litres seem to make a massive difference in this car. Right, we're doing it. 10 laps of fuel. I'm going to go and see if this theory pays off. I still don't think we're going to beat Ruben's time, but I think we can get a lot closer and have a more competitive lap. But let's try and get a lap together, because we're struggling to do that at the minute. Braking is proving to be very difficult at the minute as we lock up, always into turn 1. Not the best exit there, taking a lot of curb, getting a lot of understeer. mid-turn in there through turn 2. Still that's a decent first. Into 3 and 4. Carrying a lot of speed in there. Bit too much inside curb. Engine doesn't cut on the exit though this time. Into the first Lesmo. We still go a bit wide, but we're keeping it together. We're basically matching the lap we were just doing. So if we can just get this one over the line, we can try and build upon this. Ascari though is proving to be an issue. We're just getting a lot of understeer. Braking a bit too early there. A bit too much inside curb as well. Trying to focus entirely on my exit, and we do manage to actually get a decent exit for a change. And now just one corner remains. Understeer again, just killing me, but we do get a really nice exit, and that is going to shave off just about half a second. So finally we find something, but still it's nowhere near. Wow, okay. That was actually a really good Ascari. I've had a very scruffy lap, but I've found like another half a second or so on this one. Made quite a few adjustments, and they've all seemed to have worked quite well. So we're finding small bits of time. So we'll shave off another couple of tenths. Really now I think if I get within 2 seconds I'd be quite happy. A 21's possible. Definitely. I think I'll get a 21 and call it a day. Ouch. That was a mediums. Mediums are quicker than softs. The softs just melt. It doesn't matter what I do, they just can't hold on. I won't give up, not until I get at least a 21. We're 2 seconds off Barrichello's time. I just want to get a 21, so I'm at least within 2 seconds. That's all I want. Oh, I'm getting desperate now. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. The worst thing is I've seen lap times of like 1:19s, but to be fair, it's like ideal track conditions. I'm doing this in set to August, which is when the race will take place, or September, more or less. So I'm kind of keeping it accurate to the time of year, but I'm struggling to make it happen. I don't believe it. Ascari is going to actually end my life. Like, I'm losing life expectancy because of Ascari. I don't even care. I'm just glad I've done it. I didn't think it was possible. You saw there's another like 3/10 in it, but I have been doing this for ages. My headset is about to run out of battery, so it's an L, but I gave it everything. Right, I actually found a setup online and it went completely against everything that I already knew. So, feel free to basically pause the video. I will leave a link also down below to the setup. The only thing to note is that I ran mediums. I couldn't run softs. The softs were just melting. I do believe if I were to set this up with better track conditions, like if we're talking really specific detail, if I were to able to like search what the track temps were in that quali session, I'd love to know what it was, because I think right now we're on around 33 and it's absolutely just melting the tires. So yeah, feel free to pause and copy all the setup at any point. And yeah, that was everything. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Now interestingly, the car is actually DLC, it's not a mod, and the track is default. So all you need in terms of mods is visuals and additional extras around the edges, which will be linked down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes. Let me know what pole lap to try and beat next. Subscribe for more daily F1 content on my channel. And yeah, as always, a massive shout out to my channel members. Check out the 2 videos on screen, guys, for more videos like this. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Let's goodbye from me. Ciao, ciao.